And then this is when Rocky never makes any sense, because Rocky says, I'll live in the gym. And then the very next scene is the one you were talking about in the hotel.
In the hotel lobby or whatever. And there's just disco dancing going on in the background and just token sort of skipping rope and nothing going on. Lots of like handing out of
memorabilia and caps and stuff. Yeah. And do you say that was Frank Stallone singing?
I'm pretty sure. There's a group of like backing singers.
Yeah.
And then there's a lead singer. And it has to be Frank. Who else would it be? It has to be. I think it's contractually obligated, to appear in everybody's.
Because he was in. I actually watched a little bit of the first one. I think it came on TV or something, and I watched about half an hour. I know the film so well. He's there right at the beginning, because the first time Rocky goes back to his apartment after he's fought that Spider Rico.
Around the fire.
Yeah, take me back. Take me back. Do 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 do. Yeah.
Do 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 do. Which is what Rocky sings to Adrian in.
That's right. Yeah. It's sort of intercut with Clubber on his own, doing some real hard training. And then, so let's get to Rocky Clubber number 1. Rocky and Mickey are interviewed, and it's like, oh, this is the last fight. What are we going to do now? Maybe join the circus. And he's, it's all sort of, oh, this is not going to be any trouble. Which again, it's a little bit of a callback, because when Joe Frazier was a champion, he'd beaten Ali in the first fight. He was a bit complacent, and George Foreman was the challenger, and Foreman just destroyed. He actually knocked him over. He knocked him off his feet, which I didn't even know you could do that. He hit an uppercut, knocked Frazier literally off his feet, knocked him over 6 times. So he's obviously channeling a little bit of that, which is fine. Clubber Lang smashes the reporter's cameras. He actually pushes Mickey over, which is part of the
Clubber
demise.
Lang actually says something that I noticed for the first time in this sequence, because he's at the top of the stairs and Rocky's at the bottom, isn't he? And he calls him, and I never actually heard this phrase before, and I heard it when I watched this last night before. Paper champion.
Oh,
never heard.
Paperweight champion. Paperweight.
And I thought, why have I never heard you say that before? I've watched this film dozens of times, and it was like, yes, you've got him sussed, basically.
Yeah, well, when I'm watching films for podcasts, I quite often put the subtitles on if I've got the DVD, because you do miss stuff, don't you? And there's a little bits, He goes, paperweight champion.
Yeah, and I'd never noticed that, because it's lost in the melee that's going on, the actual dialogue.
And then Mickey actually persuades Rocky to go ahead. Rocky's like, I can't go ahead, if you're in bad condition. He's like, do it. And, I mean, this is absolutely brilliant. I love this. I'll put a clip again. Apollo is introduced to the crowd, which, again, is a thing you see at boxing matches. They probably don't do it anymore, but the old champion is introduced. He goes up to Clubber, who just knocks his hand away and goes, get out of my face, or something like that. You want to jump? Jump. Come on, Creed. It's like that. I'll put the clip instead of me doing it. Because he's the new guard, In the first film, Apollo Creed was God. But Apollo Creed's more of an Ali. If you think of it, Rocky is Joe Frazier, Creed is kind of Ali, and Clubber Lang's kind of George Foreman. And there you got it. That's the key. Yeah. And then what does Apollo say to Rocky? Give everybody a present, drop this chump.
That's the first indication that their rivalry is slipping now. The rivalry that was there between Apollo and Rocky.
Yeah.
Apollo is like, come on, do everybody a favour.
Yeah.
He's coming up from ringside, the master of disaster, the king of sting, the one and only Apollo Creed.
And there he is, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed. Stu, he looks like $9 million.
Get out my face. Don't need nothing you got no more. Don't need no hair's been messing up my corner. And you better get that bad look off your face before I knock it off. Come on. Wanna jump? Jump. Come on. Come on, Creed. Come on.
Shout him, Chief.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, just like a chicken, you better run.
Give everybody a present and drop this chump, all right? All right, good luck to you.
Because we don't know whether they would have met after that fight. Probably not, I suppose.
Probably not. They had no reason to,
No, talking about Beatles references, here's a Jaws reference. Mr. T and Carl Weathers didn't get on at all, and they just had a row just before that scene. So I was sort of thinking Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, bit in that envelope, Channel, using it for the art.
Yeah, I wonder if any of them dines out on that anecdote. 40 years later.
Well, Richard Dreyfuss did a new interview for Jaws
Exactly.
50, didn't he?
Telling the same old story.
Oh, you're not going to get me to talk about Paul. Maybe a bit later on. John was a great guy. That's all you need to know. Anyway, Lang just looks like a killer. I've got here. And he says, dead meat.
Dead meat. I remember that. My brother, I used to watch this with my younger brother when we very first had our first copy of this. And there's lots of phrases in this that, as they were being said, instantly remind me of my little brother, because one of them was dead meat. And there's some more coming up. I can't remember exactly what. I'll remember them as we start talking about them. But dead meat, and I've remembered a couple. I'll remind you later.
Oh, okay, we'll do it later. Okay,
as we get to them. Yeah.
So anyway, Rocky's really distracted, and he's got the only person he's got in his corner is Paulie. He's like, "I'm not a trainer. Just go out and kill the guy." Rocky just gets absolutely fucked. He gets off a few punches at the beginning. He makes a good start. But then Lang just
explosive start,
It's a bit of thinking about it. You know how Rocky kind of repeats itself, which is fine. It's what's going to happen. It's very like Apollo and Drago, isn't it? It's almost the same fight, really.
Yeah.
Apollo gets a few jabs, and then Drago starts hitting him, and it's just all over.
That's it.
Another thing. Do you remember? I don't know how much you remember of Raging Bull. We obviously did that together years and years ago. Do you remember when LaMotta loses to Robinson? It's the really stylized when he just gets that horrendous beating. It's a bit similar because in that fight they stylize it a bit. There's a pause, like there's no sound, and they kind of do that here. Rocky's like obviously there for the taking, and they stop, and then Clubber obviously hits him with the last shot.
It's very stylized. It focuses in on Clubber's face, and he has this animalistic roar. I mean, the punches sound like they're hitting each other with sledgehammers against iron pipes, which I love anyway because it's so unrealistic. I love that part of the fight scenes. But he gives out this roar like a T-Rex or something as he's, and the grimace of the gum shield as he's really like grimacing at him. Everything becomes slow motion because it is the final punch that knocks him out.
Do you think people secretly root for Clubber in that first fight because Rocky's a bit too smug or whatever? A little bit.
Might do, you deserve that.
Yeah. I think because it comes early in the fight, I don't remember the first time I saw this, but you could probably guess that, obviously there's going to be...
There's got to be a second. There's got to be a second one. Yeah,
they're not going to leave it there. But, Mickey dies, obviously. Now, when we did the Michael Caine show, you and I have got such a back catalogue, we can come up with all kinds of references. You were talking about how Michael Caine's crap at crying. We love Michael Caine, but... What about Rocky here? Is it a bit too much? Is it a bit ridiculous? Or what do you think when Mickey dies? He's given the benefit of the doubt?
I think that's the sign of a good actor. If they can cry realistically. I mean, as I say, I love Michael Caine, but that bugs me when he does a crying scene because it's just... He's such a fine actor. And again, like you say, with Stallone, I hadn't really noticed it, but now you're bringing it up.
Yeah, it's a bit...
He can't cry. Yeah. But then it could be also because of the twisted bottom lip as well. That may have sort of overemphasized the face. I don't know. It might be something to do with that.
But like he looks, I mean, the makeup's really good because one of his eyes is completely shut. He looks traumatized.
Oh, the makeup's improved since the first one.
Yeah, it has. I did love, Burgess Meredith is so great. And I had the subtitles on, and just before he dies, he says, I love you, kid. I just think, I just ruined it a bit because it's just like, ooh, it's just that, it's just not very convincing. And then, what about this? We suddenly discover Mickey's Jewish. Like, where did that come from? And there's only 4 people at his funeral. It's a bit rough.
4 people at his funeral, and he dies on my mother's birthday as well. I noticed on the gravestone.
Oh yeah, because the timeline's all screwed, isn't it? But
it was my mother's 40th birthday the day he died. I noticed it.
Yeah, but what upset me is Mickey's trained all those people in Philadelphia for 40 years, and not one of the bastards could turn up for his funeral.
But then again, are they living in Philadelphia, Rocky?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they're in LA.
They're not living in LA because they travel out to LA, don't they? Well, they're probably in a better suburb of Philly, I'm assuming, obviously, but. Yeah, I don't know, but I did notice that literally there was only 4 people.
Yeah, but they couldn't just fly a few fighters over to honour Mickey.
Yeah, Rocky could have paid for a few on a private jet, couldn't he? No problem.
Now, what about Mickey being Jewish? Where did that come from?
No.
Didn't have any forerunners.
And it's not significant either, is it? There's no mention of it after
I don't
this
remember Mickey and
prior to
Yamaka
it,
at any point.
No.
Yeah, anyway, so we get shots of Philadelphia. Rocky obviously famously throws his bike helmet at the statue.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Mickey's gym, and we get, well, we've seen Apollo already, but I want to say off the bat, I think this is Carl Weathers' best role, you know, the writing and everything. Because Rocky 1 and 2, he's a kind of a Muhammad Ali clone. Rocky 4 is he's just like this sort of, suddenly becomes this US propagandist talking about Russians, and then doesn't really last very long anyway. But Carl Weathers is great in this one. This is his best role for me.
He actually fleshes out the character in this one and becomes a more realistic character. Yeah, he's believable in the first two. He does exactly what's demanded of him in the first two, which is to be this over-the-top, bombastic, cocky fighter that's a champion. But this one, because he's given more to work with, and this is what I'm saying, by the third movie, every single character has developed, and you become more invested in all of them as well. Even Paulie, like we said, you know, Adrian, you can see how she's developed from becoming this shrew-like, very timid, shy person into this confident wife of a celebrity that also has a duty to be in the public eye as well. And she's so confident, but she's also got her own opinions of, you know, and cares for Mickey, cares for Rocky, cares for Paulie. And that whole family situation is quite evident in this one as well. But as for Apollo Creed, he's totally fleshed out in this one.
And I mean, what an athlete as well. I mean, I was watching, there's a really good channel called Rummy's Corner. It's a YouTube channel about boxing. I recommend it. I'll put it in the show notes. You know, he's saying, like, I think Apollo could have taken on Clubber, to be fair, you know?
Oh, God,
I mean, he looks amazing, and he just looks, well, better than Rocky for a lot of it.
I mean, what was Carl Weathers' background? was Carl Weathers a sportsman?
I think he was a footballer, as in American footballer. Yeah, he was a natural athlete. And when he was cast for the first film, a thing I was going to tell you, do you remember Ken Norton? He's from that 1970s. He was nearly cast as Apollo in the first one. But Carl Weathers basically said to the director or the producers, "Oh yeah, I know how to box." And then when they gave him the part, he sort of gave himself a 2-week crash course and came back and was, you know, was good enough.
I think Ken Norton did go on to do some acting.
Oh, did he? I'm not sure.
Yeah, same as Sugar Ray Leonard appeared in a couple of films as well. Yeah.
But I mean, Scott, it's very important that Apollo comes to the gym, says, "I've got a plan." And what's Apollo's plan? There's a phrase he uses. Can you remember what it is?
There's something to do with a big cat, isn't it? That's never
no, I didn't mean that one. But to mention that one, no, that wasn't the one I was mentioning. But yeah, this eye of the tiger. You got to get the eye of the tiger. No, there's a phrase that what's a phrase that Apollo says?
I don't know, because at this point, Rocky's in this really deep period of self-doubt, isn't he? And he's questioned whether he belongs in the ring at all. So what were you pushing me towards?
When you've got to the brink and, you know, you've done everything you can do, sometimes you've got to get back.
Oh, God, is that your Beatles reference? He actually says the word "get back."
Well, I might make another one later on. But that was all I had. Yeah, you know, Apollo goes to the gym and just says to Rocky, you know, "Get back," which is what I said to John.
Wait till we get to Rocky 4 and you start bringing out back in the USSR.
Yeah. We won't be doing Rocky 4, don't worry. No, but seriously, Apollo says "get back," which I thought was quite funny.
That's not the way to do it.
Who's that?
But you hit it straight, huh? Step into it.
Apollo?
Right. I waited at your house for about an hour and your wife said you might be here.
What are you doing here?
Business.
If the papers knew we were talking like this, they'd think we was crazy. Why you?
Because I'm the best and you need somebody to teach you different.
Why?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think you could pull it off without me, Rock.
You still didn't give me the answer, Apollo. What's the real reason?
Listen, it's quiet, isn't it? When you're retired, it's too quiet. I mean, we're too young to retire anyway. Besides, with the right touch, I could promote this thing into the biggest gate of all time. It'd be bigger than ours. Heaven knows, I don't mind being involved with large numbers, right?
I don't need this no more. I don't want this no more.
Look, man, when you beat me, I hurt all over, and I didn't want to know from nothing or nobody, not even my kids. But hell, every fighter knows that hurt, and we get sick inside trying to live with it. So don't back off now. Make it right for yourself, or you'll be sorry you didn't. We held the greatest title in the whole world, babe. You lost that fight, Rock, for all the wrong reasons. You lost your edge. All right, I know your manager dying had you all messed up inside. But the truth is, you didn't look hungry. Now, when we fought, you had that eye of the tiger, man, the edge. And now you got to get it back. And the way to get it back is to go back to the beginning. You know what I mean? Maybe we could win it back together. I have the plan. Get back, man.
And, got to get the eye of the tiger back.
Eye of the tiger, man. Yeah.
All right. Do you need to take a break, or what do you reckon? This is the interlude.
I'm okay
time.
at the moment, but are you taking a natural break
no,
here?
I'm all right. I don't need breaks.
No, but I mean in the recording.
Yes, we're going to do the 1982 thing. So
if that's the case, yes. In that case, what I'm going to do, quick cup of tea, couple of minutes, mate.
Should we just keep it on?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Right. Yeah, you can have a look through the record collection.
I'll talk to the audience. It's great. So there's a new documentary called Man on the Run. It's a new documentary I've just seen.
Oh, on Prime. Yes,
yeah.
Watch it. Yeah.
It's very good. Yeah. Paul tells a few stories. Great.
Let me make a cup of tea.
Okay. Right, folks, we're going to break off slightly. We're going to talk about 1982 in film. Rocky III was the fourth highest grossing film of the USA that year. Do you know what the other three were? Do you want to have a guess, or do you already know? Number one, E.T., of course. E.T. was number one.
Star Trek 2?
No. I'll give you a clue. Dustin Hoffman in drag.
Tootsie. Yeah. The only reason, because I know the massive movies, but at the time, 82 is a real anomaly because a lot of these movies didn't find their legs until later. Because The Thing was released this year and Blade Runner.
What a year, man, honestly.
I think Blade Runner was actually released the same day as The Thing.
Oh, my God.
It's incredible when you think about this. Now, First Blood as well with Stallone. Was this year. Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer and a Gentleman was the other big, that was the third, which I actually quite like. I mean, that's a childhood film for me. Me and my sisters watched that.
Great film.
Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. Gandhi won 4 of the big 5 at the Oscars. Obviously, there was not an actress in sight. I don't even think the actresses were in that film, but won the other 4. Meryl Streep for Sophie's Choice. Lou Gossett, Officer and Gentleman. Jessica Lange.
Was in Officer and Gentleman, yeah.
Jessica Lange for Tootsie. They were the other sort of acting.
And this is also the year you've got Poltergeist.
Yeah, let's go through. This year. You chuck out a few and I'll chuck out a few.
Tron.
It's
the early 80s computer age. This is the first sort of time we've seen that side of things.
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. Schwarzenegger was making a first real big impact around about this time as well.
Creepshow, which is George A. Romero.
Oh, Creepshow this year as well, yeah.
Death Trap, which is Son of Sleuth.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, we still need to review that properly, actually.
Yeah, I'm well up for doing that, yeah. We've got Pink Floyd, The Wall, which is the one that Bob Geldof as Pink. Mm-hmm. Very good. Mm-hmm. What else is there?
Not so much in this country, but things like Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, was that 82?
Was massive in America. Yeah.
I've got to rewatch that as well. 48 Hours as well, Nick Nolte.
Great film.
Yeah.
I love 48 Hours, yeah.
Evil Under the Sun, it was called Son of Death on the Nile, wasn't it? Almost the same, really. But
it's the one with Ustinov, isn't it, as Poirot, yeah.
Midsummer Night's Sex Comedy, that's a sort of...
so that's this year's Woody Allen, is it?
Yeah, it's the Bergman takeoff, Ingmar Bergman. Yeah. Year of Living Dangerously, that's quite good. It's
early Gibson, yeah.
It's about the overthrow of Sukarno in Indonesia. Death Wish 2, The World.
Oh, okay.
World According to Garp.
We reviewed that a few years back, and I had never seen it, and I was pleasantly surprised because I love Robin Williams and anything he's in, and it's a straight role for Robin Williams as well, pretty much. And
Glenn Close,
yeah, quite enjoyed
Glenn
it.
Close.
I think it's Glenn Close.
His mother,
anything about it.
Yeah. She's a bit weird there. Surely they weren't that different in age. Anyway, Eye of the Tiger was nominated for Best Song and lost to Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong.
I'm gonna say it had to have been that because that was everywhere.
Yeah. Co-sung by Joe Cocker, who of course did a couple of famous covers with a little help from my friends. She came in through the bathroom window. There you go. 2 tenuous Beatles references means one decent one, I think.
Well, you got to remember, 82. We've gone through the 70s, which had changed everything. We have this conversation every time we chat, mate, about the 70s, and we absolutely love that period. Studio systems pretty much long gone now. So you've got this new generation. And out of the people we've just mentioned there, all of the, there's De Palma, there's Spielberg, there's Lucas, Coppola, all of those guys, they'd grown up loving movies. We know this story. As I say, we talk about it all the time. But they want to stretch them a bit, don't they? They want to modernise them. And what has happened from 75 onwards, the blockbuster has arrived. Jaws has proved that a movie is a cultural event now. It's not just something that's released and audiences go to see. Star Wars then comes along and proves that science fiction and fantasy can take over the whole world, basically, because that hadn't been seen since 2001. And even then, it wasn't as phenomenal as Star Wars was in regard to, the audience it captured there. So studios are thinking, hang on a minute, we've got to go big, big films, big concepts, big audiences. We need all of this now. That's where the money is. So what's happening in 82, the blockbuster is still something quite new, I think. It hasn't yet become sequels. We said this earlier as well, and franchise planning isn't a thing yet. Because as you said, like the Rocky was only intended to be 3, possibly. Who knew that Star Wars, the motion picture, something that, they got together after 10 years to make, would spawn a sequel that was more popular and certainly a lot better than the first one this year. And then go on to spawn another 8 blooming sequels,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's not just the size of it, it's variety. You look at those lists we've just chucked out. We've got horror, we've got family-friendly aliens, we've got cross-dressing comedy, we've got everything on there. It's a fascinating year. It's a really fascinating, because it is just the cusp of, like, the blockbusters have found their feet, and this is the year of the blockbuster. And it's the dawn of the franchise, it's the dawn of the sequels as well. But there is so much variety in what people are going to watch. Gandhi winning the Oscars is a shoo-in. We knew that was going to win, even though most people thought that E.T. stood a bloody good chance, which, quite fairly.
What's the point? Was E.T. must have been nominated, was it? For all the big ones? Which just didn't win.
I'm pretty sure it would.
Probably wouldn't have been for acting, I don't think. Unless E.T. got nominated.
Well, you never know. But you look at the variety of it. And each one of them, I mean, you've seen pretty much all of them. I've seen pretty much all of those. And I will go back and watch all of those again. I mean, I watch E.T. every Christmas. Always do.
I think I'd probably have to say, for me, I think Blade Runner and The Thing are the top ones for me.
Yeah.
I mean, The Thing is just fantastic. It just gets better every time I watch it.
Possibly my favourite horror film, up there with American Werewolf. It's one of my favourite horrors.
Yeah. Okay, very good. All right, let's get back to it. Apollo is obviously just laughing because I love this scene. So Apollo's going to train Rocky, and you got, I think it's Rocky, Apollo, and Paulie, and maybe, I don't know, Adrian or whoever. They're watching Mr. T, Clubber Lang, being interviewed. It's like, do you accept the challenge? And then he goes, I'll put the clip in, but what do you think about him being trained by Apollo Creed? Apollo who? You talking about that old fool, Apollo Creed? It's just so brilliant. Love it.
Do you accept the challenge for a rematch with Balboa?
I reject the challenge because Balboa is no challenge. But I'd be more than happy to beat up on him some more. I always said he was nothing.
I can't wait to see this plum fall.
What do you think of him being trained by Apollo Creed?
Apollo who? You talking about that old fool Apollo Creed? Shucks. One has been
just
teaching
keep
another.
talking, pal.
That's all Apollo been doing, been running off at the mouth lately. And when I see him, I'm going to close it for him.
All right. When will the match take place?
The sooner the better. I'm the champion of the world, and nothing can be done about that. I can't be beat, and I won't be beat. This time I'm going to train even harder. There won't be no quick knockdowns. I'm going to torture him. I'm going to crucify him real bad.
Hard words from a hard man. The odds against Balboa making a comeback at 34 are very long indeed. Can he do it? Most experts doubt it. Balboa was a fine champion, but his time has passed. I wish him luck.
And then they go to LA, so go on, you go first. What about Paulie? What does Paulie suddenly turn into?
Like I say, he turns into a complete snob. It's just like, why can't we go and live, this hotel? Why are we here? Philadelphia has always symbolised Rocky's roots, basically. Gritty neighbourhood streets, modest gyms. Mickey's gym is just disgusting. Yeah. That working class environment defining his identity, it's shaped who Rocky is. Yes. That town, he lives, breathes and shits Philadelphia, Rocky. Los Angeles is completely different. You've got the sunshine, but you've got the beaches, the fast-paced environment. And it's a complete contrast to that cold realism of the earlier films, And when you get to Apollo's gym, these guys are fast, they're tough, they're agile. Yeah. And we'll talk about this in a minute, but as Rocky's being retrained, these fighters, their boxing style, it relies on movement, rhythm, pace, skill, not strength. And there's this whole reprogramming of Rocky that has to take place.
Sort of uncivilizing of Rocky.
Yeah, because he's relied on endurance, physically standing on his feet for 15 rounds. He's retired on he's relied on his determination. But Apollo's now demanding dancing, rapid footwork.
Yeah, turning him into Apollo, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great.
That.
I mean, Apollo just looks absolutely amazing. But yeah, a couple of things on that. I mean, the Rocky's style was... I know we talk about how unrealistic it is, and it is, but actually it's based on Joe Frazier, because if you watch the Ali Frazier fights, Frazier just takes, 200 clean shots to the head probably in the whole fight, and just never goes down. Rocky did go down a few times. And it's sort of based a bit on LaMotta, because LaMotta was the same thing. You could never get the guy, he says in Raging Bull, do you remember, he never got me down. But you're right about LA, but they do actually go to a slum, don't they? I mean, they're in a slum.
Yeah.
And this did make me laugh. Did you see the name of Apollo's gym?
I did, and I can't remember what it was.
Nothing on the nose about this. Tough Gym.
Oh, was it? Oh, no, it wasn't what I thought.
Tough Gym. Pretty on the nose, but anyway. And then they go in there, and then I know we're laughing about this Eye of the Tiger, and it's a bit annoying after a while, but I mean, the guys in there, they do have that look. They look mean.
The hunger, yeah.
They got the hunger. And like I said, Leon Spinks is in there. I couldn't find him on the credits, but Leon Spinks is definitely in the gym, yeah. I mean, unless it's just someone who's a complete spit of him, but yeah. What I love about Paulie, he goes, I don't even have a gun. When did Paulie start carrying a gun? And then Apollo really proudly says, this is where I started. And Paulie goes, that's your problem.
That's your problem.
And then Apollo finally snaps, and Rocky says,
well, it just takes about 6 years to get to know.
Yeah, well, I ain't got 6 years.
Come on, Paulie.
So you got that. But I love Paulie because he's not afraid of anyone. He's not afraid of Thunderlips. He's probably not afraid of Clubber Lang. He's not afraid of Apollo.
There's a scene where he's sleeping or trying to sleep in the hotel, and there's the two bums downstairs, and he's shouting out the window at them, people trying to sleep up here.
There's decent people trying to sleep. But also there's a bit where, when Apollo turns on Paulie suddenly looks like a little kid, like he's really, because Rocky's just like, come on, relax, Paulie, and Paulie's like, looks really upset, like a child who's been told off. And then we get Tony Burton. I mean, talk about the unsung hero of the Rockies, because he's in the first... Yeah. He's actually in all 6.
Is he? He goes right through.
Yeah, he's only in Rocky 5. He's only there at the beginning, the Russian bit, which is basically the end of Rocky 4. But there is some new stuff when Rocky's in the dressing room shaking. And then I sent you a couple of months ago when he's in Rocky 6. He just has one speech, and he's just absolutely brilliant. But he turns up. Can you think of any other films that you've seen him in?
I may have to look this up, but I can't think of anything.
Well, you would have definitely seen he's been in Assault on Precinct 13, the original. You'd have seen that, I'm sure.
Oh, the Carpenter. Okay,
yeah, he's in that. Just while you're looking it up, he's actually in The Shining, but he's not in... There's a European version, American version. I don't know which is longer. Right. He's not in one of them, but he plays a garage owner, and Dick Halloran calls him up, and he actually supplies the snowcat, which Wendy and Danny eventually escape in.
Not seen that version.
It's on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, it's not much of a scene, but Tony Burton was actually a very good... He was he'd been in jail. He was a former boxer, so he was a tough bloke, and he was a good chess player, and he beat Stanley Kubrick a couple of times on The Shining. There you go. It's the way to sort of get in Stanley Kubrick's good books and bad books at the same time.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah. I don't know what he did, actually, Tony Burton, apart from those and Rocky.
I'm sure I might have seen him in some sort of prison movie or something.
Yeah. Where's Assault on Precinct is set is that like a holding cells or something? I can't remember that very
It's
well.
in the police station.
Police
isn't it?
station, yeah. So
It's in the police station.
he's sort of fairly significant in that one.
That might be what I'm thinking of then.
Yeah.
Might be a sort of, because I haven't seen that for years.
But then obviously he becomes basically a Rocky's trainer, doesn't he, after Apollo dies?
That's it.
Yeah. So it's good to see him. So then we get the training, the beginning of the training, as you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I love Eye of the Tiger they play it without the vocals, don't they? And it sounds amazing. Brilliant.
Yep.
I mean, Paulie, honestly, he's there with the ghetto blaster, but he's saying, you know, Rocky's got heavy feet. But then in front of Apollo and Duke, Tony Burton, he's like, you can't train to this jungle junk music.
Yes.
And then he says, you can't train him like a coloured fighter. He hasn't got any rhythm. It's sort of, some people say that's racist. I'd say it's almost like positive discrimination, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're talking 1982 here as well. Anyway, you know, of its time.
I just love how fearless Paulie is. He's not afraid of anyone.
And a lot of the time he opens his mouth before he thinks as well.
Yeah.
You know, or he thinks too loud, I think, as I always say. You know?
The other thing that made me laugh, so Rocky starts swimming, and he looks like he's doing doggy paddle, doesn't he? Or some sort of crap breaststroke.
It is breaststroke, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a bit like doggy paddle. Anyway.
Because Apollo says, can he swim?
Yeah.
You know, you wonder where this is going to go.
And Paulie says, this is on the subtitles, I miss it. Yeah, no tuna, we belong in the gym. Yeah, because
he's trying to get him to use muscles that he would never ever use before.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the whole point of it. Yeah,
yeah, and then all the other guys in the gym, have all got the eye of the tiger. They're all watching him, nudging each other, going, "Look at that guy! He's got no footwork at all."
Yeah, because basically what this whole thing is saying, this whole retraining program, is that Rocky's problem is not his physical strength; it's his belief. It's that hunger, it's the eye of the tiger, and all of this lot. And gradually, as these montages always do, really successfully, you see the transformation as Rocky moves faster, his reflexes start to get sharper, and the confidence that disappeared when Mickey died, basically, he slowly returns. And that's reflected in people's reactions around him, watching Paulie smile, watching Adrian and all this lot. And they can see the improvement and they can see the transformation. And that's what the montages are excellent.
Yeah, but is it almost...
They're always the highlights of the movies.
Is it almost saying that he didn't actually have much technique, though? Because, doesn't seem like he's got much footwork.
He was a slugger, wasn't he? I mean, his technique in the first one was basically breaking ribs.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? That's what he's trying to do. Or
wearing down the other guy's fist with your chin. Yeah, it's another way of playing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they get in the ring, and then Apollo just gives him a fantastic bollocking. Apollo just basically runs out of patience. We'll probably play a clip of that.
Yeah.
Side to side, move your head.
Watch him now, watch him. Right, remember, he's got two hands, right? Damn, man, what the hell are you doing? This guy will knock you on your ass. Come on, Rock, it's not a game. You want to live in the hospital for 5 weeks this time? You thought I was tough? This jump will kill you.
All right.
Come on, get your head on your shoulders, man. Think about the fight, Clubber Lang's in here, he's trying to hurt you, Rock. He's trying to hurt you. Okay, here he comes. Jab, he's jabbing, he's trying to hurt you. You gotta fight him, you gotta move.
He's up against the meeting. He's up against the rope. Here's the corner.
He's hooking. Damn, Rock, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
But all through it, like, Rocky's got PTSD, hasn't he, from the Lang fight?
It must have.
He's traumatised, yeah. Yeah, that's a weird parallel, because in First Blood, of course, he's got PTSD from Vietnam, hasn't he?
Yeah, same year. Yeah.
Yeah, then they have a sort of running race. Apollo's in his sexy blue crop top. Did you notice that? Yeah, looking sharp. And Rocky basically gives up, and then Apollo gives up and says it's over, and then Adrian sorts Rocky's head out.
It's one of the most famous sequences, I think, in the whole franchise, is this whole beach scene. It's become iconic, and it's become sort of parodied.
Yeah, the bromance.
As well, the slow motion bit, the bromance bit, a bit like the volleyball scene in Top Gun. It's become a little bit of a laugh. But Talia Shire shines in that 2-minute speech or whatever is that monologue that she gives him. And as I said, talking about Burt Young and all the other characters, it is the perfect example of the development of her character. She understands him. She's been with him, what are we saying now, 3 years, 4 years, or whatever it might have been. And she's seen him go from what we know him as in Rocky 1 to top of the world, and then hitting rock bottom again. And she just tugs at the emotional heartstrings, basically, with him. She just pushes. She knows what buttons to push. And it works, because then we see them running again.
Yeah, that's it. And they sort of keep it simple, because it just sort of comes down to fear and truth. It's what Stallone's good at.
A lot of fear.
You might not call him a great screenwriter, although the first film was really good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he knows how to keep it simple. But, yeah, Talia Shire, as you said, just brilliant, the way she delivers those lines. You know, she said, we got cars, we got money, we got everything but the truth. All I was missing, really, I kind of wanted Rocky to shout across the breach to Apollo, you know, let's do it, you know, something like that. That's what they were missing.
He didn't need it.
I don't know, I think it did. I'm just being greedy. Anyway, yeah, so then we get the training sequence, you know, another brilliant, just as you said, it's just a gradual improvement. And it did make me laugh that Rocky's gone from doggy paddle to butterfly, and, you know, he's doing butterfly, which is not easy, you know.
And the skipping, where he was doing the token skipping in the hotel at the beginning, has turned into brutal sort of skipping routines here, and he's like throwing the rope down and kissing Adrian at the end of it. It's like his rebirth as a fighter. He's being reborn at this point, and for the first time since he lost Mickey, you can see he's actually enjoying the process of training again. So that's probably something that hasn't happened for years, because the fights have been easy and the fights have been deliberately easy. He hasn't had to push himself to this degree for a long, long time. And he's actually, you can see he's enjoying it. He is really, there's a smile on his face throughout this.
Yeah, and then by the end of the training, you can really see, you know, we said at the beginning about this diet and all the weight training. I mean, he's just absolutely jacked, but he's very light on his feet. There's a little shot where you see him, he's almost doing like not quite an Ali shuffle, but something like that. And then he high fives Apollo and Duke. It's quite good. And then we get, you know, the sort of slow motion cuddle in the water that I did want to just talk briefly. You know, there were some recut trailers of, you know, that as a gay love story, a bit like Top Gun, as you said, or Brody and Hooper on the Orca. There's been about 30 or 40 Jaws ones. There was a Shining one, which was it's just called not The Shining, but Shining, and it was a father and son bonding film. And
I've seen the one where they reimagined it as a sitcom,
something like that. Yeah,
things like
Mary
that.
Poppins is a horror film. There's one that's it's Taxi Driver, but they play the sort of jaunty music they play, and it's like Travis is overworked in the city, looking for love or something like that. That's very funny. But yeah, obviously, you know, Rocky and Apollo, it's the bromance of the 80s, really. Yeah. Right, this is interesting. We get to the Rocky versus Clubber part 2. I don't really rate this fight that highly, and you do. So go on, you tell me why you like it.
I enjoyed it. I was totally absorbed in this film. Sometimes when you've watched the film multiple times, you can quite easily be distracted. You can just let it wash over you. You can pick up your phone. And I've watched this film minute by minute throughout the whole, wherever it was, hour and 40 or whatever it was, this one. And by the time we've got to the rematch, forgetting how many times I'd seen it before, I'm like, oh, come on, Rocky.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
I was actually rooted, and I couldn't believe that I'd actually got that invested in it again. So that's the power of this movie. A lot of people may dismiss this movie. You know, it's third in a big sequence in a franchise, and, you know, it's formulaic, but it's not formulaic. This is what we're actually saying. They've twisted the formula from the first two. And I was still getting excited. I was still rooting for him. As I say, punching the air almost. Yes, it is exaggerated. As I say, the sound of the punches are like, I don't know, somebody whacking a leather sofa with a baseball bat or something. You know, it really is so over-exaggerated. Mr. T must be covered in Vaseline, because the amount of sweat, the man is just one big shining mass of muscle. And Rocky, as you say, Sylvester Stallone is at the peak of his physical fitness in this. And it is quite shocking. You're like, bloody hell, you know, that man, really, when you compare him to Rocky 1, it's an amazing transformation. He's wearing Clubber's shorts, you know, there's all this symbolism going into this as well. He's wearing Apollo shorts, and Apollo's in his corner instead of Mickey. Where was Adrian? Was Adrian watching? They're watching in the hotel, aren't they?
I think she's in the audience.
I always get that.
Rocky 2, she's at home. Rocky 1, she's in the dressing room. Rocky 4, I think she's in Russia, because she turns up. She wasn't going to go.
Does she go to Russia?
She just suddenly turns up. There's an interview with Clubber, and he says, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool. And I was telling you, I think it was off mic or on mic? He never said that in the A-Team. That's another one of these myths.
I thought he did.
Apparently didn't. I think he called Murdoch a fool, but he never actually said pity the fool, or maybe maybe he did, who knows. But I like, what's your prediction? Pain.
Pain. That was one of my brother's.
I was going to say, dead
pain.
meat, pain,
dead meat, pain.
Because they kind of did this with Drago, didn't they? They gave him all these memorable lines, like if he dies, I must break you. If he dies, he dies. I defeat the real champion. Yeah, it's very clever. Like Stallone knows what he's doing. As you said, Apollo gives Rocky the shorts. I know it's also Rocky. I think comes out to Yankee Doodle Dandy, which Apollo came out in the first fight.
Did he?
I'm sure, unless I went mad.
Ooh.
I think if he didn't, then I'll cut it out, so it's fine. But Clubber starts a brawl with Apollo, which is brilliant, because Apollo fights back, and Rocky said, I thought you said be cool. That was cool. I should put the clips instead of doing these silly accents. I read that they tried to make it more realistic, but I don't know. I mean, I wasn't counting the punches, but round 1, I mean, Rocky just pummels Clubber about 50 times, just straight shots in the head.
I mean, in the first leg, I mean, Lang overwhelms Rocky just with raw power, and he stands still in that first fight, and he just absorbs all the punishment until he collapses under the pressure. Basically, that's how the first fight pans out. So what we get in this one, the dynamic is reversed, where Rocky is constantly moving around the ring, using all this new speed, this new fancy footwork that he's got, and he's frustrating Lang like hell. That is the best part of this, is the frustration on Mr. T's face. And as he's ducking back and swerving the punches, Clubber Lang is drained of his energy. He is getting more and more tired. That's why I like it, because it is a complete reversal of the first one. And that's why that is why you're really air punching for Rocky. Yeah. Because you've seen that transformation in the gym and on the beach or wherever in the swimming pool. And then he's putting it all to work in that ring. He's taken a fair few punches. He does a rope-a-dope a few times as well. All that sort of stuff is here in this fight. And even at one point, even though I've seen this, I'm thinking he's going to lose.
He's not going to lose.
What the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, Rocky suddenly got defensive skills. It's like, where the fuck did they come from? Yeah, because he never had any of those before. But
in all these fights, how many times do they put their guard up?
Yeah,
you very rarely see the hands up in this. They're always down.
I know. Have you ever heard of the no mas fight when Roberto Duran basically gave up? No mas means no more. You ever heard of that?
No, I know Roberto Duran.
So he fought Sugar Ray Leonard twice. And again, they took a bit from that, because Leonard, the first fight, they went 15 rounds, a fucking amazing fight. But Leonard tried to match him, and Duran was like an animal. And so in the second fight, Leonard, because obviously very fast on his feet, he just did exactly what Rocky did. I'm sorry, I'm spoiling the magic here, aren't I? Telling you where they got the idea from. And he just basically frustrated Duran so much that Duran just said, no mas, no more, and just basically gave up. So they took a bit from that. And then obviously, I know I'm overanalyzing it, it's not a problem, but I think they could have drawn it out, because I can't believe Clubber's that tired by round 3. And I think it would have been perfect. They just drawn it out, 4, 5, 6 rounds.
Yeah, I thought it was longer, but if it's only 3 rounds, I suppose so. But then what sort of happens is then Rocky changes tactics, because once Lang's punches are getting wilder and his breathing's getting heavier, Rocky just plants his feet basically and starts trading punches, which then catches Clubber Lang off guard. And then what you've got Rocky's got this brand new stamina now, because he's been swimming miles and miles and running up and down beaches or whatever.
Off, isn't it?
All that butterfly strokes and this weird doggy paddle he's been doing. And then you combine that with this new agility that he's got, because he's lighter on his feet now, and it totally overwhelms Clubber Lang. And it's great. It's like 3 boxing matches in one. In that,
And of course, all the strategy stuff is obviously partly based on the Rumble in the Jungle. That's pretty clear, isn't it? Ali and Foreman.
Exactly. So I said the rope and all that sort of. It's all there. It's all there.
No, it's good. Yeah, well, I feel better about it now after we talked about it. If they just drawn it out, 6-7 rounds, it might be a bit better because then you could believe that Clubber would be that tired.
How many rounds was the first one?
The first one's 2, and then this one's 3.
Yeah, I feel a little bit cheated, I suppose. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm nitpicking.
But then sometimes we've seen previously they do, like for filming purposes, the rounds are never 2 minutes. It's all on screen. Yeah. But I think in this one they may have actually done full length.
I think you get the whole. Yeah, this is the only one where you get the whole fight.
In the others, you get the bits with the ring girls walking around with the boards, don't you, and things, and you miss like the whole middle of each bout, But okay,
so it's different anyway. As you said, it's not formula because obviously some of it's formula, but he's playing with the formula, as you said. So credit for that.
It has to, because otherwise you're just repeating the first 2 movies. You need to up your game a bit for this third one.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. I'm not just talking about the fight itself, but I'm talking about the whole plot and the whole concept of this movie. It has to be something different. That Rocky's at the top of his game and he's come crashing down in this movie, whereas he's been working his way up in the first 2.
And you got 3 fights, as we said, if you include Thunderlips.
Yeah.
I like the banter that Paulie and Apollo are a bit of a double act. They're sort of friends by the end, and he kisses him at one point, I think, or something. And people on YouTube, this is great. People have done all these sort of as if it's real life. What would happen to Clubber? Because Clubber just disappears, obviously. It's funny. I wonder if in the novelisation they say what happened to Clubber Lang, or
it'd have been a rematch, wouldn't it?
Trilogy fight. If it was now, everyone would be going, we want a rubber match.
Yeah, you think about it. Has he defended the title since this?
No, I think it's a straight rematch.
It's a straight rematch, straight after him winning the title.
He hasn't defended it at all.
Yeah.
I'd still take him against most people. Yeah, that's it. And then you kind of think the film's over, and had the film been over, I would have still thought it was a great film. But what about this coda? Just brilliant.
It's, again, playing with the formula that we're used to so far. We're expecting the film to end at this point, with a big freeze frame of Rocky crying for Adrian or whatever it may be. And we get this lovely...
Oh, I love it, yeah. So they've been teasing it because Apollo said, "You owe me a favour," and they do that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's a thing you find in films, which is quite clever. Someone will mention a line. The Eye of the Tiger thing. They didn't mention the Eye of the Tiger at the end, which was good.
I felt cheated.
So anyway, Rocky... I don't. So, Rocky owes Apollo a favour. So you just see them going to the gym. He's like, "When did you think about this?" About 3 years ago, which is obviously when he lost. What do you want to say about this? Go on, you have the last word.
Yeah, it's a scene that perfectly captures the spirit of the Rocky movies, I think. And it's this one answered question: who would win a real fight between them? No reporters, no belts, just the 2 of them. And one of the other lines that my brother used to do was a ding, a ding. He used to do that. He used to do that as well. The film freezes. The result is left unknown. That's what I like about this. We don't get the answer to this in Rocky IV or anything. We don't know who wins this particular fight. It's quite a playful ending, which I like. It's also quite meaningful. The rivalry was never about defeating each other. It was about pushing each other to become better fighters, I think, if you really want to go into this. So, in a sense, that fight never ended. It was still going on.
Yeah, honestly, I would say Apollo's got more than a good chance. Okay, he's trained Rocky.
But Rocky's half his size now.
Apollo's amazing. So they actually throw a punch at the same time. That's the freeze frame, isn't it?
Yes, it is. They both go into each other, don't they? Yeah, but I love it. And I love that oil painting freeze frame at the end as well. I'd love to get a print of that because I think that's a lovely way of ending. And then, surprise, surprise, Eye of the Tiger was played over the credits.
Yeah, because they did, Survivor did Burning Heart, didn't they, in Rocky IV? When they're going to Russia,
Yes. 6 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard chart.
I kind of see it. It's in the envelope of, the Final Countdown by Europe. Or Scorpions, Wind of Change. It's one of those. It's so iconic. But you couldn't tell me too many other songs that they'd done, maybe apart from Burning Heart.
That is it. I'm pretty sure.
Can you imagine if Survivor did a concert and they didn't play it? Or...
done a medley of their greatest hits.
Yeah, or Europe did a concert and said, "Well, we're not actually going to play the Final Countdown."
No.
They wouldn't get out there alive. Anyway, we've had a lovely time. I've had a lovely time here. We had a pretty good time watching the film, I think.
I loved it at this time round. No matter how many times I watch it, I've always got time for Rocky 3, always. And it is because of the variety in this and the way it shifts things up. That the whole Thunder Lips, the Mr. T's character is a superb villain. You've got emotional depth with the death of Mickey, and I think the whole progress of, as we get to this third film is totally believable. It really is, but it becomes unbelievable in 4.
Yeah.
But is a real natural progression. And the thing, like you said, that you notice most of all is how much Rocky has become Apollo Creed, how we knew Apollo in the first one. And it's quite subtly done. And then just that whole thing about the complacency, the ease of him defending the title, you really get some in-depth sort of insights into the relationship, that how much Mickey loved him, how much he loved Mickey, which never, not as as apparent until we get to this movie. And as I say, for me, one of the big highlights is the development of Paulie and how funny he is, and he becomes a very, very grounded character. Becomes very realistic, Paulie, in this. He's not just comic relief in this.
Yeah, again, it's that sweet spot, because in number 4, he's got the robot, but he also falls over in the snow, and it's just all a bit silly.
They've done so well up to this point in creating a grounded character, a believable character, and then they throw it away in 4. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've had a nice time. Yeah, great. I meant to ask you to intro Stinky Paws right at the beginning, but can you do that now and your other 2 podcasts?
Yeah, for those that don't know, I mean, Antony and I have done many, many sort of cross-promoting and sort of different podcasts together over the years. Antony actually met me through Rainbow Valley, which was my 60s documentary, because obviously I did a 2-part special on Brian Epstein, which instantly tickled your fancy, and we got chatting. And I was also hosting a show called Real Britannia that focuses strictly on British movies, and Anthony's been on that several times. And then Stinking Paws, which is absolutely any movie. It's not strictly British. It can be Hollywood, it can be foreign, it could be whatever. And we're going to continue doing these cross promotions and these pod swaps and whatever you want to call them. So yes, Stinking Paws, Real Britannia and Rainbow Valley are the 3, as well as I'm one of the hosts of the Talking Pictures TV podcast as well.
Okay. Just for your audience, I'm sure they know me, but apart from Film Gold, I've got Glass Onion on John Lennon. Not much more to say. Yeah, I've been threatening to stop it for a while, but it's kind of on its last legs, but still kind of keeps going. It's a look at John Lennon. I've barely reviewed any of his albums. It's absolutely crazy that
you still got all of that to go through, mate. Yeah, don't give up.
I know,
100. Please don't give up.
16 episodes without actually reviewing any of his albums. It's completely insane. Scott's been on there loads of times. I had a Quarry Men, the bloke who threw the bone up in the air in 2001. And then we've also had Scott as well.
That's all you need.
And then Life and Life Only is a bit different, sort of psychology and alternative media. There is a bit of crossover. We occasionally mention John Lennon when we're doing films. Glass Onion spills over into Life and Life Only, because I basically use John Lennon as a springboard to talk about all kinds of stuff. So that's that. I don't know if it'll be for Film Gold, but for your podcast, can you tell us what we're going to be watching next?
Okay.
As long as it's not Rocky 4. If it's Rambo 3, I'm going home. Actually, I'm already at home. I'm going to bed.
Okay. The next time we meet, my friend, we are jumping forward to 1991. I'm pretty sure you do admire this director. It's not one we normally talk about because it's out of our usual wheelhouse of the Easy Rider Raging Bull period. We're hitting the 90s. We mentioned this guy earlier, Robin Williams, and it is a very sort of semi-straight performance from him. It's Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King.
Oh, interesting. I've seen this once.
I adore this movie because I think it's Jeff Bridges' finest performance, or one of his finest performances. I absolutely adore Robin Williams in this. You've got Amanda Plummer and all these other great characters. The story is just fascinating. It's all about PTSD. It's all about trauma. And it's how people deal with it. And it's not heavy. It's not a heavy movie when I sort of trying to sell you what this is. But you do know the story, so I haven't got to tell you what it is. But I think the whole concept of this is amazing. It's all about people trying to right wrongs. And it's just a fascinating journey. Lovely soundtrack, beautifully shot by Gilliam. It's one of Gilliam's finest. It's the one that people don't talk about. And it's one of Robin Williams's that they don't talk about enough as far as I'm concerned. So I'd love to chat all things Fisher King with you
lovely.
next time.
Yeah. I've got a friend who absolutely loves that. It was that when Brazil were the two that I wanted to watch because I felt like there was something I hadn't seen, and I rewatched Brazil. Listened to the commentary as well, and I kind of got that one. I got why people like that.
Yeah,
I love Gilliam.
I prefer Fisher King. Yeah.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I absolutely love, and obviously love him for Python anyway. 12 Monkeys, I've seen quite a few of his.
12 Monkeys is another great film. I was sort of a bit of a toss up between this and 12 Monkeys, and I thought, no, I'd rather have a good old chat about Fisher King. I think because of Robin Williams more than anything. I think.
All right, I'm there. All right, well, thanks for my audience. Thanks for doing this. And Fisher King might be on Film Gold. We'll see.
Oh, hopefully,
I'm a bit picky
let's
about
do
it.
Let's do it.
There are always ones that have to be on the top of my flick chart. Well, apart from Rocky 3. I still love it, though. I love it in a slightly different way.
You need to go back and start re-voting on your classics, mate. Get it up at that top 20 at least.
Did you get your flick chart? Didn't you start it?
Mine's amazing.
God, how many's on
Mine's
yours,
amazing. Yeah, I've got 2,500.
Yeah, mine's about
3,000.
1,500 or something. So I'll see you again, very soon. And thanks again for doing Rocky 3.
Wonderful. Cheers, mate. Take care.
Thanks to everyone for listening as well. Goodbye.
I know, but this is extremely crazy.
Yeah, it's mentally irregular, right?
Yeah.
But it makes all the sense in the world. You owe me a favor.
I know, but what'd you think of this?
About 3 years ago.
Oh, this is very crazy, Apollo.
Look, Stallion. Now look, when you run that last fight, you won by 1 second. You beat me by 1 second. 1 second. That's very hard for a man of my intelligence to handle.
Oh, is it? But didn't you say after I beat you, you learned how to live with it?
I lied.
Oh, you lied. So now you just gotta prove it to yourself,
Just
right?
myself. No TV, no newspapers, just you and me.
Nothing, just you and me. Age before beauty.
Anything you say, Stallion.
I do all the work, okay? I'll tell you, well, you better go slow because you ain't as young as springtime no more.
I'm still young enough to whip your butt, Stallion.
Oh, yeah? Well, how you gonna do that? You taught me everything you know.
Almost everything. You gotta remember now. You fight great, but I'm a great fighter. Huh? You ready?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You know, Stallion, it's too bad we gotta get old, huh?
Just keep punching, Apollo. Want to ring the bell?
All right. Ding, ding. Come on, Stallion. Come on.
Boy, you really look good for an older guy.
Oh, you're looking good, Stallion. I taught you well.
I think you taught me too good. You can fly.
Look out now. No, you don't want to hear this. Come on.
Maybe I went here with the wrong guy.
Come on, watch yourself. Ready?